Hey guys, I'm gathering snow for something special we're going to be doing today. Do you know what it would be for? I know one person does, he commented on it in the last video. I'll give you a hint. I need an XP farm, that's better than the one I currently have, and I want ender pearls. So now do you know what it's for? I'm making an Enderman XP grinder farm in the end, and I'm making it out of snow, which is why I need a ton of snow. And I must say, this shovel, which has Unbreaking 3 on it, is really good. It lasts forever. My last two diamond shovels, which didn't have Unbreaking 3, lasted maybe a fifth of the time this one's going to last, according to the bar at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and finish gathering some more snow here, and then we will see you in the end, and I can show you what I've done so far. It's actually semi-working already. So, yeah, let's go see what that looks like. Alright, here we are in the end. I gathered about 3 1/4 stacks of snow, which should be able to finish us off for the amount I'm building in this. This can go bigger than I'm doing it, but I don't have enough resources to build it any bigger, so for the amount I'm doing it with, 3 1/4 stacks should be able to finish us off. So there you can see it. It's going to be pretty big, and it can go higher, like I said. So that's what I've been working on. It's semi-functional, as I also said. And let's go take a look at it after I drop off this snow, just in case I die. I have everything in here, all pretty much invaluable stuff. I have a ton of ender pearls already, which is awesome. I have stone tools because I don't want my diamond tools out here. I don't want to lose them. So you can see the farm's already kind of working. Endermen are dying. I'm getting ender pearls. If I do this, I can switch it to XP mode, where the Endermen are one hit, and they die, and then I get their XP and all, except there's no wall keeping them in here, so that they just fall off the edge. So, yeah, there we go, that's a good example. So the way this works is, up at the top I have Enderman spawning pads. Let's get up higher, faster. Yeah. So I have Enderman spawning pads here. They are spawning in places they're not supposed to spawn, because this is still a work in progress, because they ran out of snow. So they're spawning like on top of the pistons up there, on some of the snow here, like right there. They're only supposed to spawn on these pressure plates, but the idea, or when I'm done with it, they'll only spawn on the pressure plates. The idea is when they spawn on the pressure plate, they activate it, send a redstone pulse to an individual piston. That piston pushes them off, and then they fall exactly 43 blocks. Did I look at that Enderman on accident? I was not paying attention. I was busy talking to you guys. I think I looked at him. So I'm about to die here. That's fine. At least brought the snow over. So they fall exactly 43 blocks. It might be 42. I'm pretty sure it's 43. And then if I deactivate the lever, or rather activate it, the glowstone will go down, and they'll be in kill mode, in which they'll fall 44 blocks. Because you want them to have half a heart if you want them for XP, and if you want just ender pearls, you can make them fall 44 blocks and kill them. So yeah, that's pretty much how this works. I'm gonna go ahead and add all the snow I just brought in. I'm probably gonna die when I go down here. But after that, I will be right back with you guys. I actually can't ender pearl now. I have 3 hearts, which is exactly how much it takes when you ender pearl. That sucks. So we'll just fall down the ladder. Oh gosh. Am I gonna die? Did I look at an Enderman? Maybe I didn't. Okay, so I'll be right back once I have added in some of the snow and we've made more progress. And this is why I don't keep valuable stuff in the end. I died. cmasupra was doomed to fall. Apparently I was doomed. What did I want? A piece of bread, right? Nope. Right click. Okay, back to the end I go. I've died about, I don't know, 20 times already building this, so yeah. This is the first death you get to see, but it's the 20th death or something like that. So yeah, I'll be back when I have more progress again. Just wanted to make the statement that I've died maybe 20 times building this. It's not hard, but it's time-consuming, and you die a lot. Alright, so I have made it so that no Enderman can spawn in anything except for the two uh, rows of pressure plates. So now whenever they spawn, they'll spawn on pressure plates, fall down here, this resets their drop height, and except for right there, where there's a vine missing, I just let the vines grow. I placed a top row and then let the vines grow to the bottom. So they'll fall through the vines, fall exactly 43 blocks, or actually 44 right now because the glowstone is lowered right now. So they'll fall 44 blocks and die, or 43 blocks and survive with half a heart. So the next step that we would need to do is make it so that when they fall, they can't move left or right or anywhere. So you have to have rings spaced 2 apart, or with 2 air blocks between each ring. So it'd be going around here, go lower, do the same thing, go lower, do the same thing. So I'm going to do that next. I did forget to mention one thing that I wanted to mention earlier, and that was I'm following a tutorial. And actually I have my sounds at 7% in case you're interested right now, because these guys are loud. But I am following a tutorial, and yeah, I'll link to the tutorial in the description. That's what I wanted to say. I forgot to say that earlier. That's what I wanted to say. So if you want to know how to make this, you can either follow this general tutorial, I guess you could call it, or you can follow a pretty specific tutorial that I have linked in the description by DocM77. So I'm going to go ahead and make the rings. I should not look at Enderman. And then I'll be right back with you guys because I think that'll actually be the end of it. It should be pretty much finished at that point. I'll just have to have water in certain places and decorate this and all that. Just to make sure the Endermen don't teleport somewhere else outside of here because we don't want that. I'll just have to make this platform bigger. This is really tiny. So yeah, I'll be back with you guys once I have finished the rings, and then that should be it for this whole thing in terms of functionality. And there it is, the working Enderman farm. So what I was trying to say was the Enderman farm that's fully working, because it is fully working. There's just one little problem, and that problem is Endermen can teleport outside of the area, as you just saw 2 of them do. And the way to fix that is to have water flowing all around here so they can't teleport here. Oh my gosh, that was loud. I should turn down my volume. There we go. So, yeah, as you can see, they can teleport all over here. So what you have to do is put flowing water all along the path to over there. I'm trying so hard not to look at these guys. Let's do this. There we go. So, yeah, that's basically fully working. I only have 2 rows of pistons, as you can probably see at the top up there. You see 2 dark rows, those are the pistons. And that means I have 2 rows of spawning space. The rest of this is just to keep them falling straight down instead of moving left or right. And even with 2 spawning pads, I get a lot of Endermen, as you can see. I've actually already tested this to level 17, and then I fell off this world and died intentionally. And it didn't take me very long to get to 17, maybe like 2 minutes at the most, so 30 would take maybe 5 minutes. That's really not bad at all. But when I add more up there, once I get enough resources, more spawning platforms that is, this thing will be really fast. I've heard you can get level 30 in like 30 seconds, level a second basically, if you have enough spawning platforms to where you go all the way up to the old build height of 128, not 256. If you go to 256, this doesn't work at all, apparently. So you have to stay below 128. So, yeah, I still have plenty of room up there. I'm at like 68, so I have basically 60 more blocks I can go higher, which is a lot of spawning pads. So the next step in doing this would be to put water around it, make sure they can't teleport. But I don't want to do that yet. Instead, I want to make this fully furnished and all, make it look good, do all that kind of stuff. One thing I do want to have is the... Remember I got the nether star? Wither star? Something like that. From the wither that we fought in one of the episodes. And I never did anything with it. So I finally decided what I want to do with it, because I'm really not that excited about beacons. I don't really care about them. It was more for the fight. That's why I did it. But I've decided what I want to do with it, and that is to make a regeneration stand here. Regeneration beacon. That's what the word is, beacon. And the reason for that is, as you can see, you have hunger, and if you go whacking the Enderman, I should probably turn this down for you guys. I don't have a clue how loud this is going to be in editing. That's probably better. So yeah, as you go whacking the Enderman, you lose food, and the result of that is you have to keep eating if you want to keep enchanting. I also need an enchanting station here as well. But yeah, you lose food, and you're going to be using up all this food that you have in here, which in this case is all of 12 bread, but I have a lot more back in my home. And the regeneration station would make it so you don't have to, or the regeneration beacon would make it so you don't have to keep eating. You can lose your hunger entirely, you can keep taking hunger damage, but the regeneration will keep you from dying, so you can just keep hitting the Enderman. And that's that. Hello, I am looking right at you and you can't do a thing about it. Hi! So, yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna make all the decorative stuff, like the enchanting station, the regeneration beacon, all that stuff. I don't want to do that on camera because I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of going back and forth between designs. Maybe I'll test it out in creative, I don't know. So instead, for the rest of this video, I want to go on to something else, but in the few minutes I've been standing here, let's see how many levels I would have gotten. I can take this off, I don't have to worry about looking at them. But I do want to keep it, though. Alright, so let's see, I'm at level 1. How many levels could I have gotten in the amount of time I spent talking to you right here? This is going really fast. If I kill all these Endermen, it'll basically be a good test. So I'm already level 11. I just got hit by something. I apparently looked at one of these guys. Probably those guys. Oh man. I'm not gonna survive this, am I? Look at them. Oh boy. Oh, what I should do is just whack them. Ooh. There we go. Problem solved. So I'm already level 16, so in that short period of time, level 17 actually. So it's really not hard at all to get levels, even with only 2 rows of spawning pads. So now that I've shown you all of this, let's go move on to something else for the rest of the video. There are 2 other things I want to show you, so let's go take a look at them. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is this. Look at that 3rd enchant. Silk Touch 1. I finally got Silk Touch on something. Sadly, it's a shovel, but I would have preferred a pick, but at least it's Silk Touch on something, and a shovel can actually get a lot of the blocks. It can't get the ones that you require a pick for, but it can get a lot of the blocks. So I finally have a Silk Touch item, and once I got that, I actually made that shovel for my snow so I could get enough snow for the Enderman farm. But when I got that shovel, I decided to make this. And do you know what this is? I can tell you right now, it's an ice farm. So I basically use a shovel facing up, just holding it down, and I can walk and collect all this ice, and this will actually give me 64 per walk, so it's 32 on each side. And when I break the ice, there is water that flows out from the sides and makes another source block, and then over time it'll refreeze. These blocks right here, the snow block, is not required, and it does kind of slow down the refilling of the water because it has to take an extra step to get this block right here refilled. But the reason I have that there is ice forms faster if there is a solid block next to it. So if I could have, I would have made a solid block on both sides of this, but I don't think... Maybe I can actually do that if I if I put a solid block there, and then right across from it in this one I put a solid block, this water block won't refreeze because it won't be a solid water block. But this one will become a solid water block, and so will this one, and then they should flow into this one. Maybe I can do that. I should try that out. But yes, ice freezes faster if there's a solid block next to it. Even ice counts as a solid block to make it freeze faster, so this makes it a lot faster to have that snow block in there, all along the middle. Yeah, that's the idea behind this. I'm actually going to go take that Silk Touch 1 shovel, and we can test this out for the first time. I have not tested it yet. Believe it or not, I'm showing it to you and I haven't tested it yet. Does that sound crazy? Because it kind of is. Normally I test everything before I show it to you. Lately I have anyways. I think actually earlier in my Let's Play I didn't do that, but then lately I've been doing that. Anyways, let's go test this now. So how well does it work? I know it works, I just don't know how well. Okay, so there we go. You can't continue walking forward, you have to take steps, but it's still really good. That's just a sad thing of it being a shovel. With the efficiency 4, it's still not fast enough because I don't think it actually affects the ice. But yeah, you can see how this works. I get 32 on each side, 32 ice blocks on each side for a total of 64 in this whole ice farm. So every time I harvest it, I get a full stack of ice blocks. And in case you're wondering what ice blocks could be used for, there are a ton of purposes. One would be to make items travel faster like slide faster. Another use would be decoration, because it looks nice. Another use could be... I had another use in my mind, but I've forgotten it. What was it? I can't remember, but oh well. There's a bunch of uses for ice blocks, and I'm sure there's more than I have pointed out. Why do I have 64 plus 1? This is even. It's the same on both sides. I should have an even amount, not 65, which is an odd number. How on earth did I manage to get 64 plus 1? Maybe one of them refroze while I was harvesting them and I got a block twice. That's weird. Okay. So as you can see, it's refreezing pretty fast, actually. Already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down there. Yeah, 7 blocks already refroze, so it's pretty fast, thanks to those snow blocks in the middle. The next thing I wanted to show you is a new and improved chicken farm, which is actually not right there. I have it in my creative world. I haven't put the new one in my survival world yet, but let's go check out the one in my creative world. And this is not it, it's over there. This is an automatic potion maker, 2 of which I've been designing, and I'm still perfecting them, so I haven't shown them to you guys yet. But here's the new and improved chicken farms. So this one uses lava and burns the chickens, as suggested by one of my subscribers. I can't remember who it was. Let me check real quick, and then I'll be right back. SSE Man 1, I assume it's pronounced C-Man. Just a guess. So that's who it was, one of my subscribers. He mentioned that I should actually cook the chicken, because in my original farm, which can be shown here, I just crushed them with a piston, this piston to be exact, and then there was an update to the game, the snapshots, and one of my favorite tricks no longer worked. Let me show it to you what I want to do. Let's do it here. So before, in snapshot, this is 13 week 05B, so 13 week 04 A or B, you used to be able to, let me grab a dispenser. You used to be able to just send a pulse through this, and it would make a really fast tick in the dispenser, so the dispenser would really quickly shoot out all its items the fastest it possibly could. And now, it no longer does that, even in subtraction mode. So the fix for it was to actually, how do I want to do this? Let's do it like this. Let me show you the basic setup first, and then I'll show you the modified one I had to use in my chicken farm. So if we give this power now it'll make a really fast clock, and this is actually lagging my game, oh my gosh. But yeah, you can see it's making a really fast clock in subtraction mode. If I put it off subtraction mode, it stops doing that. So this is the new fast clock, so now you have to have 3 redstone instead of just facing a dispenser. And so that made me have to do it for this, so I had to completely change my chicken farm. And the way I changed it was to make this power a block next to this dispenser, which would power the dispenser. And then it would go back around like this, and I would send it a power source. So now you can hear, let me turn this back up. Now you can hear the dispenser clicking. So this is working fine, but I only want it to get power when the dispenser has anything in it. So the solution for that is to have this detect when there is anything in the dispenser. If there is, the comparator will turn on, and then you have it go into a repeater, because if there's only one item in the dispenser, this will only produce a 1 redstone pulse, or not pulse, but like the redstone only goes 1 away. So to fix that, you have to use a repeater, and then it goes as far as you want it to go out. Well, up to 15 blocks. So use a repeater to get full 15 blocks, and then you just take this around here, and now the dispenser empties out anything that's inside of it. So if I put, let's put this in there, just 32 of them. If I put them in there, it'll start tossing all of them out. So I had to base my new chicken farm around that, and that's pretty much that. That's what I wanted to explain. So now, because this is bigger than the previous design, I had to rethink my chicken farm designs. I actually have 2 new ones. I have a lava one and a crusher one. Originally I only had a crusher one, which no longer works, so I'll have to change the one in my survival world. So now we have one that uses lava, much less redstone. Oh my gosh, less redstone. Let's just compare. Okay, let's take a look. So we have all this redstone here in my chicken farm. So much redstone. Then we come over here to my lava one, using all the new things that came in Snapshot 13.05b. And we have only this much redstone. Here's the design I just showed you outside. And here is some very simple redstone. You press the button, it goes on a redstone wire to a dispenser, and this is a 4-tick repeater facing right into a dispenser, so this will actually produce 2 ticks on the dispenser, not just 1. So it'll put the lava out, then bring it back in, because there's a lava bucket in there. And it does it fast enough to where the chickens don't burn their drops, or the drops don't get burned, but the chickens do burn. And I can even fit a window in there, so when this is all covered up, you can see if you have chickens ready to be harvested, and then if you do, press the button. So that's really nice. Now if we go over here, this is my new crusher version 2.0, I guess, because now it works in the new snapshot. Once again, we have the same design for the dispenser. And then we have a little more redstone underneath. So when you press the button, it sends a signal to a pulse extender. It doesn't extend it by much, just a little bit. 2 ticks, really. And that sends power to this piston, and the piston crushes all the chickens inside of there, and it's exactly long enough that it's able to crush them, but then as soon as they're crushed, it retracts the piston, and all the drops fall into the hoppers. If the piston stays outside, or extracted, that's not the word. If it stays stuck out long enough to where it's still outside, or it's still pushing the block out while or after the chickens. Let me start over. So if the piston is still pushing this block into here, which is supposed to crush the chickens, if it's still doing that after the chickens are dead, then the block will prevent the drops from going in here, and so the drops will spew out all over the place inside the chicken, which is not what you want. So I've managed to time this perfectly to where the piston retracts as soon as the chickens are done being crushed. Even one less redstone tick would make it so it doesn't work. So, yeah, it's pretty simple redstone. Just took a little experimenting on the timing. So both of these designs are much simpler than this design, with all this redstone and it no longer even works. This one, in case you're wondering, uses flint and steel, but it wasn't very good. I never got the timing right because I'm pretty sure you can't actually get the timing right. So yeah, that one's just a dud. I should tear that one down. So you have a lava one, which produces cooked chicken, and we have a crusher, which produces uncooked chicken. Now, which one would you want to put in your world if I were to make a tutorial of this? Or actually, you can even just look at it and see it's not complicated. If you want cooked chicken, you'd use lava. If you want uncooked chicken to trade with villagers, you'd use the crusher. I'm actually thinking of putting both of these in my world because it's relatively simple to make these, and using lava for cooked chicken makes it so that you can save your coal. You don't have to use your coal to cook them. C-Man once again gave me the idea. And the crusher is useful for when you want to trade with villagers because they only take uncooked chicken. They don't like cooked chicken. Apparently they like to eat raw food. So, yeah. Those are my two chicken farm designs, and those are what I wanted to show you. Let me check how much time is left on the episode, and if there is more time, I will find something to do because that's really all I had planned. So let me check and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done about 27 minutes of recording. I don't want this episode to go long like the last one did, so I'm just going to do a quick little demonstration of my automatic potion maker. Both of them are... Let's do this one. This one's more advanced. It's bigger, but it's much more advanced because it has an indicator light, which is actually much more important than you think it is. So, I'm still working on this. It's still a work in progress, but it's fully working in terms of functionality. I'm just working on making it smaller. Yeah, this one's really hard to make smaller. That one I spent the same amount of time on both of them, really, but that one I've been able to make much smaller than I've been able to make this one. So let's go ahead and just press the button. It'll make a potion for us, a splash potion of regeneration extended, to be exact. This potion farm it's an automatic potion maker, not a potion farm. That would be a little weird, a potion farm. So this one's able to have 4 ingredients. So you have your nether wart, you have, in this case, a gas tier because it's a regeneration potion, redstone to make it last longer, and then gunpowder to make it a splash potion. If you wanted to make a regular potion that you can drink, you just wouldn't put the gunpowder in there. It's that simple. I plan to have multiple of these in my world, this one to be exact, because they're just cool and they're quite useful. You can just fill it up with all the necessary ingredients and just push a button whenever you want 3 new potions. You can easily stack them vertically, not so much left and right because they're so wide, but vertically it's fine because they are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, 5 high. This would be a floor, and above here would be a ceiling for a total of 7 if you want to include both of those. But there's only 5. They're only 5 high, so you can easily stack them up. That's not an issue. So you can have like splash potion of regeneration. You can have regular potion of regeneration. You can have fire resistance potion. You can have a whole bunch of potions, just an array of buttons here, and you can have them stacked up, and the buttons can go to each station, I guess. And when this is done, the indicator light comes back on, and I forgot to explain that it goes off when I press the button. You probably noticed it though. So let's check what's in the chest. 3 potions, splash potions of regeneration. So that's how it works. If it ever runs out of any material, such as... Where's the chest? There's the chest. I recently moved it in my latest messing about with this. So if it ever runs out of water bottles, runs out of nether wart, runs out of redstone, runs out of anything, even cobblestone, or whatever you want to put in this timer thing, if it runs out of anything, the indicator light won't come back on. And if the indicator light is not on, let's say it ran out of cobblestone in this dispenser. The indicator light is not on. If I press the button, nothing happens. I can even show you here. This torch will turn off, but this one won't, so it won't do anything. There we go. I can't see the other torch. Let's do that. Okay. Stop flying. Okay, so you'll see the left torch turn off, and the right torch not do anything. So as you saw, if the indicator light is not on, it won't do anything because it knows it's out of something, and if it's out of anything really, this whole thing won't work. So I'm glad I was able to get that detection or indicator light in there. So now it's not out of anything. I can just press this button to reset it. It's now ready, and I can press the button and make more. Now that design versus this design, this one does not have an indicator light. It works exactly the same. It's just much smaller, if that's valuable to you. Yeah, really just much smaller. And that's about it. That's really the only advantage of it. In my opinion, I wouldn't use this design because you never know when you're going to run out of something. Like, who knows if you run out of water bottles? You won't know unless you check every time before you press the button. And if you're going to do that, you might as well make the potions yourself. So I prefer the design with the indicator light. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this Let's Play episode. I just wanted to show you guys these because I've been working on them for, I don't know, like 2 weeks, making them both really small. Like, they're both fully functional. I could release them as they are. I'm just not happy with the size. I feel like they're too big. At least this one is too big, so I'm still working on making them smaller. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys this. And that is it for this episode, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video, and I might decorate my Enderman farm before the next video, I might not, I might do it as part of the next video. I don't know, but we'll get the Enderman farm decorated for sure by the end of the next episode, because I definitely want to start using it, and the reason I want to start using it is, I want to start enchanting books. I want Silk Touch. I want Silk Touch shears. And the reason I want Silk Touch shears is so I can build this in my survival world. Because I need cobwebs. Yeah. This uses cobwebs. I could do it without the cobwebs. I could use a different timer, but this is the most compact timer. And I would rather have it be compact in my survival world than use a different timer. So yeah. We'll definitely have the Enderman farm fully decorated by the end of next episode. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys. And the chicken is 6 wide, so we need to put 1 extension on each side. So now it's 6 wide, and he's also 6 tall. Although we don't want to make the height yet.